Strange RV tours will take you places with Greg and Janet's smiling faces. You might see a crazy flavored soda review or some tips to fix your RV too. So come along, won't you join us, friend, as we discover what's around the bend. Just sit right back in your easy chair. Strange RV Tours is on the air. Strange RV Tours is on the air.
By this point in time, though, like starting to get towards almost midweek of the week-long cruise, we have now met another couple on the cruise. They're wonderful people from Alabama. They're just, rednecks like us, And so anyways,
like a hole in the wall.
This couple, the husband and I, started hanging out with each other on the balconies or the patios while the girls were sunbathing all day. We were just having a competition to see who could get drunker. Honestly, I'd order Red Stripes and he'd order Red Stripes and I'd order Red Stripes, and then, if we saw the wives coming our way, one of us would nudge the other one, straighten up, and we'd act like we were half sober, until they passed, and then it was get some more Red Stripes. That's the way those days at sea were. They were so boring, and you want to break from it, you can go to your room and turn on the TV. Everything's in Spanish, and there's only one or two channels. And so there was just nothing. She loved it. She loved no cooking, time of her life, and I'm trying to find a way to get off this boat. So our next stop is Grand Cayman. We went to Grand Cayman, beautiful island, I guess owned by the British still, or England. When we got to Grand Cayman, about 20% of the boat got off and didn't get back on, because you can actually set up, I guess, Swiss bank accounts there, or offshore bank accounts, and a lot of people, that's what they were doing. They were just going on this inexpensive cruise to get over to Grand Cayman. And they would set up their accounts,
I didn't know about that.
And then they'd fly back. So
I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
But Stingray City was there, right?
Yes, we went to Stingray City, it's an area out in the middle of the ocean that Jacques Cousteau found years and years ago, 18 miles off the coast of Grand Cayman, or off the Cayman Islands, and there's a sandbar that's only about 4 to 5 feet below the water level, and there's an entire community of stingrays that inhabit that area. Now, when Janet heard stingrays, and heard you can actually swim with the stingrays, and you can actually feed the stingrays.
I was there.
We weren't making it back home without going to see the stingrays.
Yeah, so we were on this, catamaran?
Catamaran.
Yeah.
Catamaran going out there. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm married to a crazy woman, that this, to me, a stingray is the same thing as a shark. I know they're dead. Oh, they can more than ask the crocodile hunter if they can hurt you.
Yeah.
And so anyways, so we're on our way out there, in this catamaran. This catamaran is basically
a net.
Yeah.
It's the mesh you lay with And there's like 20 people with us on this big one. It's it's like no big deal.
Yeah.
And so.
But the whole time I'm thinking, I'm getting my nerve up. Okay, I'm going to get in the water with these things. I'm going to get in. And then finally I just resigned myself to, no, I'm not. I'm going to stay right here on this net, 8 feet above the water, and just sit my ass right on top of this water and enjoy watching everybody else get bit and stung. Okay. And so anyways, we get out there. They stop the boat. There was like 25 people on the boat. There was probably 6 or 7 of them were under the age of
10.
We're
all in there.
Those were the first 6 or 7 people to jump in. And then they turn around and look at me. You coming in? And I'm like, I'm the biggest pussy in the world if I don't. So now I got to get in the water. And I actually had a great time, though.
Yeah.
They had these tubs.
Of squid. It's squid.
Fish guts. Stinky fish guts.
It's squid.
Most gross thing, and they, of course, the tour guide says, just reach in there and grab you some of that. And so I reach in there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like
slimy.
It's like sticking your hand into a raw oyster, a giant raw oyster, just snot and it's just horrible.
And you stick their squid in your fingers like this, and you just the stingrays are around people enough, they're fine. They come up and right underneath, they'll go and suck it up like a vacuum. I mean, your whole hand will go.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. It's a cool feeling. The one thing you do have to watch for if you ever go out to Stingray City is when you're walking, shuffle your feet, don't step, because some of the stingrays will stay down close to the sand. You don't want to step on one, or you might get the
Some look like the sand.
Sword.
Some are the color of the sand. The smaller ones, you can't see them.
Yeah.
I mean, and you'll see a little flutter. That's it. But that was cool, guys. If you can go swim with stingrays, do it.
It was. So then from there,
we went to Jamaica.
Yeah. But on the way, between Grand Cayman and Jamaica, there was a whole nother day of me and the boat cop doing the, did you catch one yet? And him looking at me saying, you seen anybody throw one over yet? So every day. Yeah. But then we go to Jamaica. We get to Jamaica, and we're going to go to an area called Dunn's Rivers Falls. It's a waterfall that's 300 feet high and 500 feet long. It's called a staircase waterfall.
Yeah, you can go up and down it, and it's beautiful. And they have little falls, and you can sit there, and they'll take your picture. And we got one. We were like with the waterfall behind us. That was so cool.
Yeah. On the way up there to the falls, we stopped at a restaurant that served Jamaican jerk chicken. If you ever get a chance to have Jamaican jerk chicken, it's unbelievable.
Spicy.
They've been hiding that from us over here for years. If that was here in the States,
well, now you see all kinds of it.
It's not the same though.
It's not well, the same. They did it on the grill, and they had their own type of wood. That's probably a big, huge difference.
Yeah.
But it was delicious.
Eating real Jamaican jerk chicken is kind of like eating a really good Gordon Ramsay dinner and then add 25 habanero peppers to the top of it. It's unbelievably hot, but unbelievably good.
Isn't that?
Oh, it was. It was
spicy.
Good. Oh, it was good though. But when we arrived at the falls, or actually when we were on the way up to the falls, I started noticing we're getting more and more into jungle areas. And our tour guide was explaining to us that on the island of Jamaica, that they don't have any snakes because they brought mongoose in years ago, and they've taken care of the snake problem, so they don't have that to worry about. And I'm looking and I'm seeing all these airplanes, wrecked airplanes, like every mile or two. And so finally I had to ask, I said, well, is there an airplane school near here, or what's going on? She said, oh, no, that's deterrence. And I was like,
deterrence?
Is that an airport? And she says, no, drug smuggling deterrence. I said, oh. And she said, yeah, the military, if somebody's trying to import or export marijuana, the military will shoot them out of the sky. And they don't clean the planes up. They leave them there as a deterrence to anybody else flying in. And so anyways, I said, wow. I said, does it work? And she said, for the most part, every once in a while they'll shoot a plane out of the sky. Several years ago, they accidentally shot Jimmy Buffett's plane out of the sky when he was performing here.
Yeah, and he wrote a song about it. Yeah, he did.
And I'm thinking to myself, where am I at?
Yeah.
I mean, we're going into the jungle where they shoot people out of the sky and they don't even know if they're bad guys.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. Yeah.
It was a little hair-raising there, but the falls were incredible.
They were.
They really were.
And we got some great rum. We brought back 2 bottles of rum. One was coconut, one was something else. I don't know what.
You don't remember it because you don't remember it.
Yeah, right.
It's banana rum.
Oh, okay.
One little glass of banana rum, and she didn't remember nothing.
Yeah.
So anyways, we get back to the boat.
We get ready to go back
we're heading back to the States, sailing back to the States, and I started panicking.
Getting paranoid.
The night before we actually were to depart, I started thinking, what happens if I get caught with these Cuban cigars?
Mhm.
Now, I'm young at the time, and had never been afoul of the law in my life that I know of, and started panicking and decided, you know what? Janet told me, she said, just throw them away. If you're that worried about bringing them back in the States, just throw them away.
Give them away or throw them away.
And I'm thinking,
no, he goes, no.
I'm thinking that would make me an even bigger fool, because I've bought the damn things, and I'd at least get to enjoy them. And so I thought, I'm smoking these 3 cigars tonight. Now, mind you, I had never smoked a cigar before. I didn't even know that you weren't supposed to really inhale the cigar smoke.
Uh-huh. Wow, you should have seen him.
I was green.
Yeah,
I was green.
You should have seen him.
When I finished that third one, I was so proud of myself.
And then he was like over on the railing.
I was hanging over that railing. It was bad.
He was so sick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I tasted it. I mean, I had a cigar before. They were really good, but I'm not into cigars. Unless it's like a chocolate or a vanilla or something. You know, the girly ones. But
that cured me. I didn't want any more cigars after that.
Yeah, but later on, you did get a little humidor and you did have some cigars. But I mean, you never had another Cuban. But we used to go to the cigar shop and I get like a little chocolatey or, you know, something like that. But that first time, oh my gosh, he was holding on to that railing, just like the boat swirling like that too. Oh, he was so sick.
I was so sick. And then the next morning, when we're at port and we're all getting off the boat, all of the crew members line up, and we go down and we shake everybody's hands. And of course, when I get to the boat cop, before I can look him in the eye and say, "Did you catch anybody?" he gets this twinkle in his eye and he looks at me and says, "I got one." He says,
he was so happy.
He's in the brig now. So, anyway, a perfect ending to that trip, you know.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I'm sure that if we try to cruise again, I'm sure it would be much different. This time we would be on a cruise that we didn't have to row.
No, it was a smaller. It just had one small pool, and you know, now the big cruise liners and everything, we'd book it way ahead. We'd go ahead and book events. You know, we'd make sure it was all inclusive because we did. You know, to pay for everything as you go would be a pain in the butt. But also, what I didn't realize, you had to tip your housekeeper, your waiters. They had envelopes in your room before you leave, and the appropriate amount of money you're supposed to leave in the envelopes for the staff. And I'm going like, holy crap!
Yeah, it was like double the price of the cruise. One of the couples that we were sitting with was from Hope, Arkansas, a little town in Arkansas. They were there the first night of our buffet, and then we never saw them again. And then we found out later that the reason that they weren't coming back out to the buffet and everything is they had won their cruise on a radio program and had no idea that the cost involved in tipping everybody. And I guess they didn't have the money to tip, and so they felt like they shouldn't be partaking in all of the enjoyment of the cruise, which was sad.
Yeah.
But
shoot, I'd go ahead and do it anyway. I mean, I feel bad, but I mean, that's life.
You feel bad once you got back home. You're going to enjoy being there, right?
Yeah, right.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, if you know, it's only one person out of the whole boat doesn't have the money to tip. No big deal.
Well, it was, and I'm not joking either. It was just a couple years later. We were watching TV one night. We were watching one of the big news stations, and there was a cruise ship that had caught fire in another country. And when they showed it, I think it was a cruise ship we were on. I really do. I think
it was Commodore?
I think that it finally
that little boat
had a burial at sea.
Maybe.
But honestly, I mean, it looked just like our boat did. But I'm sure that I would enjoy a cruise more now than I did then, but I would be more aware of what happens on a ship. I really had no idea. I was thinking that we were going to go on this cruise ship and it was going to be one big massive party from start to finish, and that's not what most of these cruises are. Most of these cruises are one big relaxing long day at sea.
It depends on who you are and what you set up.
And then going
It's a whole different world. This is, how many years ago was ours? And, you know.
Anyhow, hopefully, if you guys went on a cruise or go on a cruise in the future, it'll be a better experience than I had. Hopefully you'll get the Janet experience, because she loved it. She absolutely loved it. And I would do it again. Don't get me wrong. It's just I expected much more than what I got.